Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be doing an install on a 2007.5 2012 Ram Cummins Stealth Performance Module with the available selector switch. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and go through what comes included in your kit. First, you're going to get a set of instructions on how to install the actual wiring harness that goes with the module. You have to access your fuel rail pressure sensor on the back of your rail, and this will tell you how to hook all that up. You'll then get instructions on how to do your fuel rail shim kit, which is included in the module. Full instructions teaching you how to remove the intake horn, remove the EGR, remove the sensor, do all the installs. You'll also get an instruction card on how to use the selector switch. So from counterclockwise to clockwise, stock, low, medium, and high settings, and then you'll get a brief description on when and where to use those settings. You'll also get a free sticker. Here's the module itself. See, it's fairly small. It's got a couple mounting holes, so you can kind of get creative on how you want to mount these when and where. I know a lot of people, they'll do it next to their driver's side battery or on the wiper cowl or something like that. You can get some Velcro or double-sided tape, just kind of, personal preference with that. Here's your available selector switch. You get enough wiring so you can either leave this hooked up next to the module or you can go ahead and run it inside the cab to your liking. It's kind of personal preference with that as well. And then of course you have the actual harness wiring itself. Like I said, there's only one plug you have to access, and then this plugs into the harness, and then you have your one plug on the harness for the selector switch. Get a couple of zip ties, and then you get your fuel rail shim kit. So this is the nut that you'll use to help disassemble it, and then you have two shims inside of the kit so you can shim your fuel rail spring. If you ever have any more questions about the actual install, don't be afraid to call us. We're available 24/7. We can kind of walk you through if you're having issues, something isn't clear in this video or the instructions. So definitely let us know how we can help you out, and then let's go get started on the truck. Part of our 07.5 Cummins, doing our install, and so far we have our EGR removed and our intake horn unbolted, so come over here and we'll take a look at that. Your EGR will come around to the front of the motor like this, so you got to remove that. There are 6 10mm bolts that hold the intake horn to the manifold, and also 3 10mm bolts that hold the dipstick down. Once you get all this unbolted, there will be, depending on the year of your truck, there may be a 10mm bolt on the back side of your intake horn that holds a wiring harness on. So once you remove that, you can go ahead and take and pull your intake horn, and then this is going to be your I went ahead and loosened already, so this is just hand tight. So we'll go ahead and take this out. This will be the most difficult part of the module install, but here is going to be your just kind of a word of advice. Make sure the truck has sat for some period of time. I would say about an hour or so, and it allows the pressure inside the rail to bleed down, because you have a warning sticker right here. Depending on if this is stuck or if this has failed or there's an issue with your fuel rail, you can see up to 20,000 pounds of fuel pressure inside of this rail. So if you release that, you could possibly hurt yourself. So just make sure that you let the truck sit and it'll bleed the pressure down. All right, you can stop. So we're going to go ahead and install our fuel rail shim kit, which is included with our module packages, which is probably the most difficult part of this install. You will need a bench vise. You will need a crescent wrench. You'll probably need a hammer and probably need a center punch. That's kind of depending on how this goes back together. But this is our fuel rail plug, and included in our kit we have a compression nut, and we have 2 washers. Now I went ahead and pulled the O-ring off just because I didn't want to risk crushing this O-ring. But what you're going to do is you're going to thread this nut onto your fuel rail plug. Open up your vise, and then you're going to clamp down on this plunger right here. Now don't worry, this is hardened steel, you're not going to hurt it, but don't oblong this. So we'll take this, put this in the vise, get it as close to the actual housing of the fuel rail plug you can, and then try to get it level, and then you just kind of snug it right there like that. And then what we're going to do with this nut is we'll take this nut and we'll use it as a way to pull this housing off of the plunger itself. Now just kind of take your time with this. because when this does come apart, you do have a spring in here and a couple other parts. So, but you can kind of watch on there. Hopefully we're grabbing onto this good enough. Oh, no, I didn't. Let me try that. It's better to kind of have to do this a couple times instead of over tightening it and then you end up damaging something. So and we're getting there, just a little bit at a time. Fly right there, trying to kill me. Alrighty. So here we go. And here's us separating the plug. We can take this nut off. Now look what we got going here. So this is what actually goes inside the fuel rail and regulates the pressure. So here's a little plunger inside of that. Make sure you don't lose that. And then here is the actual spring itself. So this is a spring that is regulating all your fuel rail pressure, so that you'll see up to, 24, 25,000, up maybe even 27,000 pounds of fuel rail pressure. And this is what's keeping all of that fuel pressure inside of the rail. So make sure you do not lose any of these parts. Remember that plunger's still inside of there. So what we'll do is we'll grab our two washers and then we'll drop them in the housing just like that. And see, all we're doing is just creating just that little more spring rail, or little more spring pressure that has probably gone away over time, especially on a vehicle that's had a fair amount of mileage put on it. Then all you do is you put that together just like that, and then we'll go ahead and open our vise back up. We can take a rag and put it in here so we don't chew the ends of it up. And then all you have to do is put this back in your vise, and then you'll push it back together. Now a couple things can happen here. Either the plug will go in and it'll stay in like it's supposed to, or you'll have to actually take a hammer and a small punch, and the little stakes that were on the side of this fuel rail plug, which look like we're going to have to redo this, but you can see little points here and around the side of it, and you actually have to take a hammer and recasselate this plug so it'll hold that plug in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll go back to the install. All right, stop. All right, so we went ahead and we got our shim kit installed. I did have to stake these 3 points on here, but as you can see, the plug is in there, the plunger's in there, and we're good to go. Now we're not going to bleed off any excess fuel rail pressure. So we'll go ahead, make sure there's no dirt or anything in here. Make sure you didn't get any metal shavings or whatever it may be in the end of your fuel rail, because this is the last point until you go to your injectors. So we'll go ahead and hand thread this in. Now this plug gets torqued down to 50 foot-pounds, or Guten tight, or whatever you want to call it, but we're going to go ahead and actually use a torque wrench for this. So I got my 3/8 drive torque wrench and my 18mm socket, and we'll go ahead and torque this down. Take this extension off now. So like I said, 50 foot-pounds. And that's all it takes. So there you go. That is a fuel rail removal and installation. Now when you reinstall, everything is in reverse order. If you want, you can go ahead and clean your MAP sensor, your manifold absolute pressure sensor, which is right here. So if your truck hasn't been deleted, or it's got, I would say, anything more than 60,000 miles on it, you'll want to take this torque screw out, pull this out, and then clean it. You can use mass airflow sensor cleaner, electrical contact cleaner, or whatever, but you'll want to clean the soot off that, because this is how your engine gets its boost reference reading. So if it's reading boost incorrectly, your fuel it's not going to get the correct fueling, and you may have performance issues. So I do highly recommend you do that. Also, your heater grid or anything else, this is a good time to clean up any soot that's happened over the miles of your truck. And then after I get all this back together, we'll go ahead and actually install the harness for the module. Where we install our module wiring harness, so all the way in the back next to this engine hoist mount, there's going to be this plug right here in my hand that is plugged into your fuel rail. Oh, let me get around here. All right, so there we go. So this is the plug that you have to remove, and then the module splices in between this and the actual harness itself, or the actual, the harness goes in between this and then the rail itself. So once you get all this pushed or put in together, you can run your wiring harness. So I ran this one over the power brake booster, over to here into the module, and then here's our switch install. So you have to keep the switch plugged in at all times for it to work correctly. Again, the switch positions are going to be your stock, low, medium, and high. Try to leave these in the same position as long as you can to get the most performance out of the module. As you can see, there's plenty enough wiring that you can run this through somewhere in the firewall if you want to mount it inside the cab. This one, we're just going to mount the module, and the switch, we're going to keep it over by this ABS pump and leave it on the same setting. If you have any other questions about installs or information about the module, feel free to give us a call at any time. We're available 24/7, or visit our website at stealthmodules.com. Thank you.